Okay, part 2 about Nepo Babies, my last video that I thought of after recording that. Nepo Babies, people who are considered Nepo Babies, have no control over what family they are born into. Just like we don't have control over that. We were dealt whatever cards we were dealt, and we can have a point of view about that all that we want, but there's no reason to shame people around that. Something that they literally can't help. They can absolutely help like who they be about it and who they are in the world, but they can't help what they were born into, just like we can. And also, and like I said, this is literally coming from me, who I have a trigger and have default had these kinds of thoughts about Nepo babies of like why is it so hard for me and like so easy for them? Like they don't deserve it. I've had those thoughts, but then like when I reflect on it, right? We don't know how their lives are just because we see that they're the daughter or the son or the child of, this famous person. We have no idea how it was like and what it is like to live their life. We have no idea what struggles they've gone through. And I mean this not just for Nepo babies, but for everyone. We have these judgments of everyone, and we like see a small fraction of a picture of what it might be like to live their lives. But even then, we will never know unless we were actually in their shoes. And I say this not to absolve them of anything, but really like I just have no idea of the struggles that it might have been like to have grown up in the spotlight. I have no idea what that could have been like. I just think of like how grounded I feel to have grown up the way that I did, even as a millennial with half, technology and half not technology, right? And then looking at these other generations and I think, oh my gosh, what must it be like to have social media and technology immediately present from a really young age? Like, what must it be like to, I have no idea what that, maybe the pressures or their own difficulties that I could never imagine of having to possibly live up to the expectation of their famous parent, to feel like that they could never get out of their shadow. Like, I don't know what it's like for them, just like they don't know what it's like for me. And I also think, I think this notion of like kind of hating on and criticizing Nepo babies reminds me of the stuff that I see also out there about this kind of like default hatred and judgment of people who are wealthy or people who are famous, because I think we have a lot of beliefs around money is evil, wealth is evil, or all rich people are stuck up, or all rich people are pieces of crap, or blah, blah, blah. So like, I think that there's an inherent bias that's there when we look at people who are born into wealth or born into privilege, especially if we're struggling. I think that's what we fail to see, is that if we're struggling with something and we're bitter and we're like, why is my life not where I want it to be? Why is this not fair, right? And like so much of the time, this not fair conversation has been a story and a trigger that I've navigated a lot of my life. And like, but I'm aware when that's coming up, I'm being a victim of something. I'm being like a woe to me, like victim. And like, it's not even wrong or bad to be a victim. But I think when you stay there, when you kind of let yourself sink in and absorb and marinate in that too long, is where that's just hurting you. That just hurts us when we stay there, right? When I start focusing on like, oh my God, this person made it at this age and look at all they've accomplished, it has my attention be deflected, where I'm now in the stands commenting on someone else, what their game of life, what they're doing on the court, versus what am I avoiding in my career right now? What small action could I take right now that would make a difference in my career, versus me focusing on why is so-and-so the youngest, So I don't know. I don't think wealth is evil. I don't think fame is evil. I don't think all rich or wealthy people are evil. I don't think money is inherently evil. And I just wanted to bring that up because I think we have our own bitterness and things that there are to work through for us personally and as a culture, which is why I think we get so triggered by Nepo babies and all that stuff.